Live from San Francisco, celebrating 10 years of high-tech coverage, it's theCUBE. Covering VMworld 2019. Brought to you by VMware and its ecosystem partners.
And we are back at VMworld 2019 here in San Francisco, along with Stu Miniman. I'm John Walls. Welcome to theCUBE here, continuing our coverage here at Moscone. And we're now joined by Don Murawski, who is the Manager of Servers and Storage at Wendy's. Don, glad to have you on theCUBE. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be here.
Before we leave, you're going to have to settle this with Stu. He's very upset about the change in menu. That number 8 is no longer number 8.
So, I can't do anything about that.
Well, perhaps we're going to look into that a little bit later on. But what you can do something about is tell us about your portfolio of services, what you do in terms of what you are managing in terms of storage, in terms of servers.
Right. Yeah, as you know, IT is, especially in the food industry, has become huge. Especially mobile app, mobile ordering, DoorDash, order your food and have it delivered to you. Massive business, massive financial for the company too. How that plays for me is managing the infrastructure that it runs on, whether it's in AWS or Azure. A lot of that stuff is on-prem still. So we have to manage a huge amount of volume with a very dense environment. We're a hyper-converged shop. Nutanix is part of that. Cohesity is a huge part of our system now. 2 data centers, one in Atlanta, one in Dublin, Ohio. So it's quite a big effort.
You mentioned on-prem, off-prem. About what's your split right now, and are you?
Say 30-70.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 off, 70 on.
And how is that going to change, you think, over the next 3, 4, 5 years?
It's changing drastically. Cost, CapEx, OpEx. It depends where our model is going to be at. Right now we're more CapEx. So when that goes to OpEx, you'll see a lot more cloud. So right now, 70-30. 70 on-prems.
All right, so yeah, Don, we talked to so many companies today, and what is that digital transformation they're going through? You talk about app and mobile. It's like, boy, I'm reading articles about how do we make sure that your food delivery person doesn't eat a lot of your French fries before it gets to you. Maybe speak a little bit about the ripple effect that has to your group in IT. As to you always say, geez, fast food. What's faster than walking up to the counter and you guys don't have it sitting under the warmers, of course. They put that together and make it. But it's now, it's transforming that fast food business.
Sure. Yeah, it was touching the back-end servers. Yeah. So it's important that those are properly tuned, properly functioning on legacy, sometimes legacy hardware. So between cloud and on-prem, it's been a challenge, and we're still working through that challenge. A lot of our developers are in-house. We actually have a big presence for developing right now for our own app. We actually develop our own app and website. So a lot of that is tied into the movement of more into cloud technology than on-prem technology. So right now, like I said, it's 70-30, but it's still a challenge.
And what is it about that when you say it's a challenge? I mean,
yeah, it's just
drill down on that a little bit.
What dealing with with on-prem, you can't scale like you can with AWS or Azure. You can scale 100 times down in Azure by auto scaling. On-prem, we can't do that quite yet. We're getting there. So that's still a challenge because a lot of the information still has to touch on-prem databases, which are pretty getting old in the tooth, so to speak. So it's still a challenge.
Yeah,
so.
Don, when I talk to companies, you talk about that whole modernization, and the keynote this morning, we're talking about hybrid cloud, we talk about multi-cloud. HCI is often a piece of that modernization, but how do you look at how you scale and change things in your data center versus the public cloud? Is that, is it making progress? Is it limiting it all, or?
It's slow progress, it's slower than we want. More like into, hey, getting rid of the VMs, go containerization. So a lot of containerization is happening now with Kubernetes. We have a DevOps department we actually just created internally to do that type of work. It's just taken a little bit longer than we anticipated.
Yeah, and I'd love, obviously Kubernetes is a big discussion here. How long has your group been using it?
About a year.
Why do you use it? What is it? What's the value to your organization?
Click a button and you got a server. It's auto scaling.
Yeah.
It's so instead of taking 2 hours to build a server, or 3, it's taken 2 minutes. I think we actually timed a Linux server build in 2.5 minutes. So the fact that you got a small workforce too, I mean, it's not we're advertising jobs. I mean, things are what they are. They're pretty stagnant. So we have to make do with the technology that's out there, and Kubernetes is a big part of our future.
Yeah, but
infrastructure.
Oftentimes Kubernetes is something that will help me if I want to move something from my data center to the cloud or between clouds, or do you use that use case yet, or?
Not yet, not yet. We're getting there.
Okay.
Yes, a little slower progress than we'd want, but yeah, we're getting there.
All right. When you're living in this, multifaceted environment, bring us inside your data management. What's that like today? What's working? What challenges?
I'll tell you what
do
it
have?
was like. It was a nightmare.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
So, it was a complete nightmare. Multiple vendors, very complex. Now we're trying to simplify things, make it more dense with, like I said, cohesivity. It's been a big part for the past year. We've moved all our backups to cohesivity. So cohesivity is basically backup in DR now. I don't use it like secondary storage. I have other storage for that, smaller storage units. So it's 2 years ago we had lost our primary storage and basically took down the company. And living through trying to get your data back for hours and hours and hours and working. I mean, I had guys working 100 hours a week for 2-3 weeks. And literally didn't see their family. So making something that is easy to use, manageable, and recoverable was huge. And so we take the complexity out and add the ease of administration, and that's what we did with cohesivity.
Yeah, I mean, you're painting really and maybe not a worst case scenario, but an awful case.
It was an awful case
scenario. Yeah, so I mean, disaster recovery was a disaster for you, it sounds like.
It
right?
was.
But, so is that what drove you to the cohesivity decision?
That was a big factor, yeah. Yeah, the fact that, I need to be able to replicate this stuff to another location. That's one thing, that's what everybody says. But can you actually recover it if it's in the other location? No, we couldn't. Now we can, and I actually proved that through a POC. So yeah, it was a big factor. The fact that people had to sacrifice, weekends, and I mean, literally worked all night, multiple nights to get things back up, to get the business back up.
So what do you say, to your colleagues or counterparts out there, maybe who haven't maybe done this kind of spade work that you guys went back and did?
Turn down your critical servers and see if you can recover them. Take them down, see if you can get them back up. Test your DR, because if you don't, it's going to come back to bite you, and it did. We got most of our data back, but there's some things we didn't get back. I mean, we had to recover. I think we had to retire a couple of systems that were homegrown systems that were written by a developer back in the day that's no longer there. We couldn't get it back. We had to send whole departments home because of this. So I would say test it, make sure it works, and make sure your vendor, whoever you pick, is standing by you too, because that's a big thing, is that relationship with the vendor. We don't pick it because it works. We do, but we also pick it because of the relationship with the vendor. Are they going to be there when all what breaks loose?
Right.
Some do and some don't.
Who's your friend, right?
Who's your friend? That's right.
All right. So Don, you've gotten your title. It's server and storage, but you're talking about some Kubernetes and modern multi-cloud environment.
Well, we're a small shop.
Yeah.
I mean, we're a small IT shop. So out of my group, that DevOps actually spun out.
Yeah.
So now we're kind of a infrastructure DevOps team, but DevOps is a whole separate team now because of my team.
Yeah, what I guess I wanted to get at, right, is that, is that mostly internally training and going through the model, bring us through some of those, what worked well, what was a little bit of a pain point?
Pain points, it took a year to get the one application working.
Yeah.
But now it's working, you see the value in it. Because I was like, this is a waste of time. We don't scale that much. But however, when you do, it sure is nice to build a server, like I said, 2 minutes. It's a huge factor. It was coming. That seemed to be the trend. DevOps, I mean, there were no DevOps jobs 3-4 years ago. Well, now there's DevOps admin jobs. So, it was coming. It was just a matter of time. So.
You've been using Cohesity for about a year now, you said. You talked about where you're using it. Give us a little bit looking forward. Where do you go with Cohesity? What would you like to see them do?
Yeah, I think a big play is going to be, especially from I'll call it our infrastructure platform, will be more in an Azure footprint, shrinking the on-prem data center. So Cohesity will play a huge role. We still have a lot of 2008 servers, and 2008 goes out of end of life in a few months. There's no way I'm going to retire 200 plus servers by January. It's just not going to be humanly possible. So a lot of that stuff I had to get to move to Azure for support, and Cohesity is going to play a big role in moving that and protecting it. So yeah, I see a good path for Cohesity in the future for us.
So when I brought you on, we talked about the menu item number 8 that you said you can help Stu with. Is that right? Which was what is? Menu item number 8.
Yeah, it was one of the chicken specialty sandwiches they have.
However, we are very supportive
I like that.
of, we have our
like
$2 Frosty donation for the year.
That's good.
So a Frosty a day, right? Free Frosty a day.
Right.
So we are supportive.
That's
if
good.
you can work on that number 8, maybe
I'll work on it.
we could be even more supportive.
I'll work on it.
Thanks, Tom.
I
We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But this belongs to Gabe Leon, by the way, on our crew. Just got to give Gabe a shout out there for helping us out. Back with more here on theCUBE. You're watching this live, VMworld San Francisco here 2019.